minute and then okay, so I think we can start. So let me introduce myself. I'm Alex Tomik. I'm a pre-sales from RIVERBED covering Eastern Europe. I would like also to introduce Aram Azarian from our partner in Romania, Nuvias. So we are working together with Nuvias as a distributor for Romania and Hungary. And we have several resellers in Romania and with also several projects. I will ask the same question as yesterday. Who knows RIVERBED? You know RIVERBED from yesterday, but other guys, okay. So I assume from product perspective or from solution perspective, it's more about WAN optimization. Yes, okay. So the WAN optimization is the first product since 2002 as RIVERBED was founded in San Francisco. And RIVERBED developed from the single solution company to multi-product and multi-solution company. So I would like really just to give overview and then go more focus on the demo and the questions. And as I said, I hope this will be interactive session. So please don't hesitate to ask questions. And please also, of course, if you are doing demo and everything, so it's in the live environment, it's always, it doesn't have to be always 100%, but I hope everything will work today. So just to summary, and we started yesterday also the same topic, you know, so what is the problem or where the whole networking or branch business developed. The RIVERBED is coming from the WAN optimization space in the time when the world was very simple. You have branch, you have data center, and you need to optimize the traffic. You need to accelerate applications, and you need to reduce the bandwidth. That was the first product, and the worldwide market share #1. RIVERBED gained since 2002, and I think 9 years in a row, so we are in the Gartner Magic Quadrant as a leader. But the problem from today's world is that we are talking about a hybrid environment. What does it mean? The hybrid environment from the WAN perspective, every company we are working with is not using the simple or single WAN network or single WAN provider, but are using multiple WAN providers, and more, I have even company and they want to remove all the MPLS links on the international links, and they want to run everything on the multiple internet providers just to have the different backup scenarios. So you are using different WAN networks, and what changed in the application world? Software as a service, of course, you know the Office 365. I think, I don't know how it is in Romania. Office 365 migration in the companies is moving forward, yeah. To be honest, as I started with RIVERBED 2-3 years ago, when we were discussing in Romania and Bulgaria about the Office 365 deployment, everybody said, no, so not here. We are 2 years later, and you say it's here. And absolutely the same is happening in the infrastructure. At the moment, you have your application, SAP or web servers, whatever, you have in your data center. So why not to use Windows Azure? Why not Microsoft Azure? Or why not to use Amazon Web Services? So that's why you can put your infrastructure into the cloud, and you can just run your application inside of the cloud. So software as a service, infrastructure as a service, and the same with the security. So Zscaler, I have a lot of customers using, sending all the traffic to the cloud proxy, to the Zscaler, and sending to the internet over there. From other software as a service, Office 365, ticketing systems like ServiceNow, very popular. We are a sales organization, of course, Salesforce.com we are using. So hybrid applications, hybrid environment for applications, hybrid for the WAN network, and of course also hybrid branch, we can talk about it, because bring your own device. So you are not only IT is giving the end devices to the user, everybody is running this tablet, and you are running, so the companies, we are working a lot in the banking environment, so we have internet banking apps running on the mobile devices. So the environment is very, very complex, and that's why since 2015, Gartner started to push or discuss about SD-WAN approach. So the change, application in the cloud, data wherever, also in the cloud or in the branch or in the data center, network, hybrid, and mobile hybrid. So everything is hybrid and getting very, very complex. So what I wanted to just really summarize, I think it doesn't make sense to discuss deep about the WAN optimization, just really going through what it's doing. If you have the user using the WAN network with latency and bad links, so limited bandwidth, you need to do the deduplication of the data and acceleration of the application. What you can achieve with our solution, you can achieve 98% data reduction and 40 times faster, for example, using the SharePoint and so on and so on. So this is the use case since many, many years, and this was our sales were always pushing. Why it is still important? Because now everybody can say bandwidth doesn't cost anything, especially in Romania, the 1 gigabit of bandwidth, so you can get home, I don't know, for 10, 20 euros. So that's why the bandwidth is not a problem. But don't forget, we are migrating to Windows 10. The protocols are getting more and more complex, so SMB 3.1. Exchange 2016 is using NAPI over HTTP, so the demand on bandwidth is also extremely growing. And we have several companies who already wanted to shut down the steelheads, but then they migrated to Windows 10 and we still have, we didn't have last year, we were presenting our numbers, so we didn't sell so many refreshes as the last year because of the Windows 10 migration. And the second reason why is again cloud, Office 365. If you have your SharePoint in Office 365 email and you are using from the cloud, so the same approach, because as far as I know, Microsoft charges you not only for accounts in Office 365, but also about the traffic that you are downloading from the Office 365 from the cloud. And if you can reduce it to 90%, this is where you have all your savings. So it's really just a summary. So how the solution works: black magic box on one side, black magic box on the other side, and you are intercepting the traffic and doing all the magic, either from the branch side or from your mobile device. So I didn't want to go. Are there any questions about the steelhead optimization? Because you are users of steelhead, so you know how does it work. And I don't think it's some rocket science, but I just wanted to remind that it still makes sense. Migration to the Windows 10, migration to the cloud, and we have a lot of customers after the migration to the Office 365, they came back to us and said, guys, we have a problem. If you have 4,000 employees in the company and you are migrating on one day to Office 365, you start to have a problem, just come to us. Okay? How does it work in deduplication, cheating on the TCP protocol, and the transaction prediction, which is accelerating the application. So no rocket science, but I think doing this work. From yesterday, I think that most of the interest, what we had yesterday, was about the visibility. And also RIVERBED since 2009 extended the portfolio. That's why I said we were one box, one solution company, and since 2009 we extended for the visibility. And as I understood also yesterday from the questions, so the visibility, what is really going on in your network, is the critical factor, and that's why I wanted to spend more time on visibility today. And especially what is our uniqueness is about the end-to-end visibility. Because every customer we are visiting, they are talking, yes, of course, we have tools, we are pinging the servers. So if the server is responding on the pings, it means so the application is working. But it's not true. And that's why to show and to present how end-to-end visibility works and how can we do it and how can we integrate network visibility with infrastructure, with application, and always with what is the most important, always is the focus on the end user experience. So you can say that I do not have connection resets, I do not have retransmissions, I can ping the server. It doesn't mean that the end user is satisfied. So, and that's exactly the problem, and that's why we help customers to build something like this, which is Network Operations Center, build one large customers, which is integrating into the dashboards, into the portals, all information from the network, from infrastructure, from behavior of the end users. I think it's already the public reference, so I can use it. who has a good eyes can see the logo of the customer. So Maersk, that's something, the huge containers worldwide. And so basically from end user experience, so from the worldwide, the people are ordering containers and they need to place the order, find the route and everything. Infrastructure guys are monitoring what is going into infrastructure, and we are analyzing and putting that information together. So how this can be done? So what is the problem if I'm going to the customer? So networking guys are saying we are using MRTG. MRTG is our CACT is showing everything fine. Application guys, I don't know, WebLogic, Java servers, blah, blah, blah. We are using monitoring from Oracle. Everything is fine, no problem. We are using something for the databases. We are using something different from our ISP provider, and the customer and the web pages are still slow. So how can I put it together? And here I will be jumping with also to the demo. So here I just wanted, so the typical approach of the first step where we also started with our RIVERBED solution was about network-based monitoring. Why? Because it's the easiest way to do. And there was also yesterday question, difference between the passive and active monitoring. The passive monitoring, I'm not installing anything. So if I'm talking about the passive monitoring, it's based on the packet capture and flow collection and combining this information together. So packet capturing or flow collection is very easy because you are configuring on the core router. Basically, you are configuring spam port. If the customer doesn't want to configure spam ports, no problem. You are adding the tabs, and then you are collecting all the traffic. In from everything what is going, you can start like this. So only what is going into your data center, and then you can monitor all the interfaces inside of your data center. And now let's move on to the demo. So basically what I can see, so you saw the name of the solution, but it's basically irrelevant. I want to monitor everything what is going inside of my data center. So I'm monitoring the amount of the traffic that is entering my data center. I want to see which application are using the most of the bandwidth. I want to see the most active clients and what is their response time. I want to measure the most active servers, and I want to measure which application I have the visibility. So general view, but what is also important is the intelligence that we can add to this. So the first point, we also discussed that yesterday, and it's also built in the one optimization in the steelheads, is deep packet inspection. So we can analyze, we can identify more than 1,000 different applications. So you can see, aha, somebody is doing BitTorrent in my application, and I can identify who did it, how much bandwidth he was using, and then I can start some kind of mitigation. The next step, if the most of the applications are used in the companies are web-based application, and that's why I can go into the insights and to see overview of all my applications, independent if those are web-based or not web-based. But I think what is more interesting to have the visibility inside of the web-based application. For that, we have module which is called Web Transaction Analyzer, which is analyzing, catching all the HTTP, HTTPS traffic, looking inside, identifying the individual web pages, and analyzing those. So in our network, we have discovered, we have some web portal for the FTP services. We have some, we call it trade fast, so trading application. We see the typical page times, so it means if somebody is really opening the web page of the FTP server or trade fast application, so the typical page time is around 2 to 3 seconds. Which pages? So I have the pages, the portal average, 29 pages per second. So that's the usage of the pages. I have also information, I can analyze the information, what kind of browsers are people using, and then if I want to, okay, is the Chrome browser performing better on my web page or no? So maybe I have some 500 errors, so analyze what is going on side of the web page. And of course, I can analyze where the users are coming from. So I'm analyzing from which countries, from the how many page views, and how many, what is also very important information, how many unique users. So it means...
Sorry, I have a question regarding age. HTTPS traffic. How are you addressing? So how do you know which application are you using when you're seeing HTTPS traffic?
Okay, so basically there are a couple of approaches. One of the approaches is if it's HTTPS traffic, I can import SSL keys inside of the app response, and then I can decode and I can analyze. I know sometimes it's not possible. That's why it's possible even if you are using load balancer and you are offloading SSL over there. That's one of the options. Or, as I said, we are cooperating with the packet brokers like Gigamon, and Gigamon is also offering the SSL offloading. But the main idea is, yes, if it's HTTPS, I am defining whatever internet banking dot bankromania.ro, and I'm putting the SSL key inside for the decode. What is important also, because of GDPR and everything, we are not storing decoded traffic. So all the traffic that is stored on the device is always coded. We are not decoding the traffic to store that. So it's stored in the original. The key is only used for analyzing the web pages and for the metrics. So we are not storing undecoded information, so to content. So content is always stored. So if I want to analyze a particular application, for example, this trade fast, I know, okay, so I want to see how a particular application is performing. So it can be, okay, so let's show me the insight into one of the applications that is relevant for me. Then I'm going, okay, so how this is in the time frame, okay, last hour, last day. So I can see, okay, so the page times, so it was getting slower during the day. I see exactly from which location, but I see it's everything under 2 seconds. And the page families, so this is what is used. So I have the home application, portfolio, orders, login, logout, trade, and so on. And I see which applications, which are consumed on the server side. When did I have something on because login is normally it's a little bit slower because of the networking authentication, and on the client busy side. And what is always most important is how many unique users, how many users are using my web page. The second analysis that I can do automatically, if I see and discover there is some database traffic, I have the view inside of the databases. I can see what kind of databases, because you remember the picture. So I'm capturing the traffic in front of all servers and also in front of the databases. So I can automatically recognize, okay, so those are the databases that I can see. I can see that I'm using in company SQL Server, Sybase, Oracle, and so on and so on. And if I want to analyze particular database, for example, I know I have some problems with this database, so I want to see which queries are the slowest one, and so then I can get answer, for example, yes. So database processes, and I have the slowest SQL statements that I can see which is going up to 1 second. So automatically, without configuring anything, I'm saying, okay, can you start to analyze the database? So I can see the SQL statement. It is everything beautiful, but one more point. You remember we were talking about the end user experience. So how can I connect? So if some end user has a problem, how can I see if this user was using this SQL statement? So network monitoring is great. I have full visibility in my data center. I see which servers are slow, which applications are slow, and so on. But there is one big factor that is missing, and that's from the position of the end user. So I want to know if I click on my trading portal, which SQL statement was. Is it possible to do? Yes, but we need to do a step further. And one more module just wanted to show you. So what we are analyzing, so databases and voice over IP module. It's also interesting if I have voice over IP traffic inside of my inside. So I just want to see what is my quality of my voice calls inside of the network. And so I have all my voice calls, and I see the voice and video calls, and I have opinion score. So basically I have one box solution that I'm just putting into my data center, and I see all the traffic, and I can analyze all TCP-based application, I can analyze all web-based application, database and voice. So really this is in very short introduced one of the network monitoring approaches. We have only 45 minutes, so I do not have more time to go deeper because I just wanted to show you the end-to-end approach. But this is the great start. If I want to know what is going to be my network, this is always how we start. And I can say 60% of our customers have that they have only this kind of approach. Okay? So we try to explain them that it is very important to have end-to-end, end-user experience and end-to-end visibility. But 60% of our customers are IT guys, so Cisco, HP, and all the data center guys. They are using this approach. Any questions to the network approach? Okay, so that's why exactly the point what I was mentioning. This is not enough. So what do I need to do next? Okay, so if I see everything what is going on in my data center, I see my slow servers, my slow conversation, I have very good visibility what is going on a network level. But I'm still interested what are my end users doing. And now I'm jumping from the end user, from passive monitoring into the monitoring where I need to install something. Because I want to know what is going on their laptops. I want to know what is going on the internet banking application. I want to know if it's not shown, for example, we are using VDI. So how can I monitor end users that are connecting to the network over the VDI? Is there a possibility? Yes, there is. But I need to extend what is going on over here. So, how can I do it? So, let's monitor from end device perspective. So that's why I am now interested all applications in my network that are used, but from the perspective of the end users. So I can see that I have 46 end users. I have 75 devices reporting to my solution, and I automatically recognize that there are these following applications in my network. So my users, my end users are using SAP, Outlook, SharePoint, OneNote, whatever, different kind of, and I'm IT help desk, somebody is calling me, I have a problem with particular application. Okay, so what's your name? Okay, Adam. Okay, let's have a look, what are you doing and what is the problem on your desktop. Adam, I see that you are using the 3 different devices. You are connecting through the VDI, you are connecting through your Windows workstation, and you are using also some applications on your mobile device. Okay, so let's have a look. First of all, so what you as a user, what kind of application you as a user, and what you were doing in the kind of the last moments, just to confirm if you are right or not. Okay, so yes, I see really, so you had some problems, you were joining, okay, you were starting the SAP application, and this opening search account took 10 seconds on your PC. So what is the big difference? This is kind of, I have a stopwatch in my hand, and standing behind the user, and I can say, yes, 10 seconds you were waiting for your SAP. Then you were going to the project tracker, then you were sending email, this was 1 second, and so on and so on. So I have a stopwatch, and we call it activities, experience about the activity or event. So I am monitoring every single event on the end device. Do you have maybe some problem with your device? Okay, let's have a look. So what is the problem with your, for example, on the workstation, okay? So what kind of workstation you are using? Maybe, I don't know, so maybe you have too many applications installed, maybe you have too many crashes. Oops, you have over 60% utilization, and really your machine, you are connected through Wi-Fi, Windows 10, Lenovo, the processes that are okay. So what is this trusted installer? 49% of the utilization. Yes, and I see you are using SAP. You are not very happy about it. Microsoft Outlook, and so on and so on. And then I see the connection. So you are also connected to the virtual desktop and using some applications through the virtual desktop. And now I want to have a look whatever the hardware of your particular device. So I have the full overview about the devices. Okay, I can see what is going on the C drive, what were the event details, and so on and so on. So now I'm monitoring the application from the perspective of the end user. So now I know that he was doing something and it took 10 seconds for him. But where is the connection?
Yeah, I guess you're going to say right now, in order to be able to get all those data, you need to have a special installed on the end user device software client.
Agent. It's the small agent that is running, yeah, correct. So to have visibility inside of the laptop, I need to have, I have an agent, and those 73 agents are reporting to the solution. Okay, and now how to connect it together? That's why I'm just getting back. Okay, so we were here, so we have the visibility, what is going on the endpoint, and I need to connect it with the application. So what I need to do, I need to have analysis of those Java, .NET, web-based applications to have visibility what is going on the web front end, because SAP, okay, is the client-based application, but I have some web-based application. Application is written in the Java and is doing some requests to the databases. And what is the binding point is exactly that I can identify. So the end user has a problem. I want to see what is going on in the network because I have all the data, but I want to see also what is going on inside of the application. And so the idea here is that I'm getting back and I have problem with this straight, for example, Cindy Johnson is calling me. I have a problem with our trading application. Okay, so of course let's have a look, the same as we did before. Are you right? So what is going on your PC? Your PC, okay, you have, here is, I do not see any problem. Everything's in green. Okay, here I see, 20, you were waiting 21 seconds for placing the order. Let's have a look on the particular. So you can see like I am now still watching what is the lady doing. So Cindy's opening the order. Okay. I see, so it took 21 seconds. But I want to know on the other side what was going on in the same time inside of my application. Just a second. Where is my 23 seconds here? Okay. So I'm pulling information from the network. What is the analysis of the network problem? But I want to see what kind of transaction was done on the application server. Okay? So I'm jumping from the end user side, I'm jumping inside of the application servers to see, to identify that particular transaction and put it all together from the end user perspective. And yes, so I see 23 second orders, and I want to identify the stitch together. So I'm coming to the word that I was waiting for. That was the wrong one. So Cindy Johnson was accessing the front-end portal. She's coming from the Massachusetts, United States, and exactly this that's exactly the problem of the demo. So I need to take the one. Wrong one. Okay. So what I wanted to show, and of course in the demo, sometimes it's technically it's available. Yeah, that's the problem with okay, so this is what I wanted to show. Sorry, so the stitching didn't work exactly how I wanted. But the idea is, I am back to the Cindy Johnson. I saw that she was waiting 45 seconds, and I see exactly what was going on inside of the application. So now I'm giving the answers not only to the IP help desk, there is no problem with her desktop, but I am giving the answers to the application developers. I can say, yes, this application is written in the .NET. There was the request from the end user to the front-end portal. There was a request to the whatever, connectivity, application, and to the database. And I see everything what was done inside of the application. So on the level of classes and methods, so the most relevant information for the developers. And then I'm looking for the particular, for example, was there a problem with the database? So here are all the calls. So I have 76 calls into the database, and I can analyze what is going on in the database. So I am matching activity with the stopwatch on the end user device with the transaction that is going on in the application. So it should work automatically with the automatic stitching, but in the demo environment not always, sorry for that. But the idea is, so I have now full information what is going on the end device and going up to the particular SQL statement that was sent to the database on behalf of the syndic. So that's the main idea, what I wanted to show and to present. So to have the full picture, so what we are then able to do is to combine information from the network, from the packets, information from the applications, and information from the endpoint, and put it to the centralized visibility, where you have then overview about all your applications from network perspective, from infrastructure perspective, and from end user experience perspective. And always drill down, so what I had to do manually, what is going on inside of my application, what is going on in some of my end devices after the Windows migration, and what is going on inside of my
One other question is, let's suppose that we would have been an infrastructure issue like a wireless issue at a site level. And for example, with PI, with Cisco PI, having Cisco infrastructure, I could see that could be some issues at the access point level of roaming between access points and such. With your solution, I can see that as well.
Oh, we are.
For example, what caused the Wi-Fi drop or roaming or?
Okay. So we do not see the Cisco or any vendor specific the problems that there was the roaming problem or something like that. That's why we are in the beginning we were application performance company. Now we are talking about digital experience. So what we are always trying to analyze is what is end user doing and what is it causing in the network? Was the problem in the network or was the problem in the server? And if there was a problem inside of application, we give the visibility what is going inside of the application. Infrastructure, yes, it is possible. If I would extend it about the, for example, SNMP based monitoring
You collect
and so
data
on.
from the
Correct.
PLCs, access points,
Correct.
etc.
So it's not a problem to, I didn't put it because there will be too many things, but of course there is a SNMP based collector, we have synthetic test engine, we have WMI collector, we have syslog collector, and so on and so on. I just wanted to show the approach.
And to correlate that.
And to correlate, correct. And that's the important point, how to correlate, and then to come from the picture of what is going on the end devices to the portal. Where is my portal? Okay, so to get to the portal, and the most important is, so I have everything aggregated in a single portal from end user, so page load time, I already showed you. Where is this information coming from the network? Because I have HTTP analysis, and the HTTP analysis told me that page load time took so much so long. I have page load time also here, but where is this information coming to? You see, page load initial Ajax tab. So this is coming from the browser, so this is coming from the agent that I'm collecting. I have the violations, slowest transactions, okay? So I'm talking about the transactions, so those are Java classes, method transactions that I was showing that I was analyzing. And so I have the picture already here, and I have the full visibility from topology, where I'm kind of putting together the topology of my application. Is it problem on the front end? I see the problem of the end users. How do I measure it? Yes, the page load time is over 3 seconds. Is over 3 seconds. Over the threshold over 3 seconds. I have a problem on one of the servers. How can I measure it? Or what do I see? Aha, server response time is getting slower. I have a problem between the servers. So I have a problem over here. What is my metric? Server response time was over some particular threshold. Or I have the visibility. I can have the visibility from application performance. So giving the information to the application developers. So what is going on the memory or usage, CPU usage, and so on. And always, of course, if I'm getting to the high-level summary, I can drill down either to the application or inside of the. Okay, and what we were so analytics. So here, where I'm kind of pushing all the points together. Okay, as I have last 10 minutes, if you have more questions about the monitoring, I'm holding here. So I'm more than glad to show you more in the demo on our booth. But I would like to talk a little bit about the SD-WAN because I have not 10 last minutes. Any questions? One last question, Lau, for monitoring?
You said alerts. So
Yeah, of course.
Okay, and do you need to have all 3 solutions?
No. It's a Lego
network and end user?
No, absolutely no. As I said, I have 60% of the customers from the networking space. So each of the solution can work. That's why maybe it looks complicated that I have so many portals and GUIs, but it's exactly the idea. I have customers who are Wireshark, and they are not doing anything, just collecting the packets from the data center, extracting the packets, packet download. Where I have, if I'm in the network, I can download the packets and analyzing in the Wireshark. They are not interested. We have customers from the IT help desk, so they are interested in the solution, what is going on my end devices. I have customers from banking, and those are the Java developers of internet banking. So he's not interested in the network or anything. So that's why this view is great and makes sense as MERS, as I showed you, but not, you need to talk to, we are talking to the, on the CIO level. So I need to have end-to-end visibility. But what we want to say, you can start to build, that's why first step from the what is going on in the data center, what is going on the end devices, do I have access to the application developers? Yes, okay, let's have a look what is going on in the application. So it's really the Lego principle, and what is the portal? It's just stitching everything together to the single view. But of course you have a drill down, and I'm drill down, show me, okay, top user activities, top application details and so on. And then I'm jumping down inside of the application. And of course I have alarms sending, not SNMP traps, sending emails, sending reports and so on. Okay, so very quickly to the last approach, software-defined network. Hybrid networking, why it is such an issue. And as not everybody was yesterday on the presentation, what is skill connector, what is SD-WAN approach, centralized management, zero-touch provisioning of the devices, design first, deploy later. So what does it mean? I'm designing whole my network, and I will show you in a few seconds. First, everything centrally, and then I'm sending devices to the branches, just connecting to the internet, and all the rules, all the traffic, all the WAN, everything is pre-configured over there. What is very important, connectivity to the cloud. I'm going in direction with Azure because I'm deploying some infrastructure there. How can I do the connectivity to the Azure? Just putting the credential of Azure into the SD-WAN, and I have automatically tunnel to Azure. I'm using Zscaler, no problem. Just putting the credential of Zscaler, and I have automatically tunnel to the Zscaler, or AWS, or whatever I need. So the cloud connectivity, very important. Data center, high availability, clustered solutions and concentrators, and the gateway. So I have something also on the booth, you can have a look. So gateways, data center, and what is important part of the solution is the Wi-Fi. And again, Lego principle. So we have customers using only the Wi-Fi without SD-WAN, but what is our advantage? You can push the policies to the whole network, including the Wi-Fi. So I think the practical example, centralized management, defining, I think because I do not have 5 minutes, so I'm going to rather directly to the demo. Okay, so Steel Connect managers, so this is my small company, Shortec somewhere in Germany. I have a hub and spoke infrastructure, I can configure full mesh infrastructure, I can connect to the cloud. So I have here my data center with 2 gateways that are talking to each other, and I have the branches somewhere here. So if I'm starting with the network design, basically I'm opening new business in Timișoara, so I need to open my new site in the Timișoara. So what I'm doing, new site, so I want to prepare Timișoara. In Romania, city name, and Sydney. Okay, so I'm opening my new business in Timișoara, okay? Everything is prepared and pre-configured. What kind of providers I'm using? Okay, so I have internet, so I have ADSL connectivity, the cable, I have MPLS from Orange, Rom Telecom or whoever, or I have LTE modem connected to my device over the USB connector. Okay, I have the Zscaler, so I have credentials to the Zscaler. So as I said, those are all my Zscaler pre-configured. So if I'm using Zscaler, I'm just downloading config from the Zscaler. I have all the connectivity here. If I'm using Azure infrastructure, here is my subscription to the Zscaler. I'm connected to particular I have the virtual networks, and I'm just connecting to my virtual network in the Azure or AWS, the same. So I have a connectivity over here, and here are the VPC where I'm connected, okay? So I have my WAN links, uplinks, and what kind of device I'm going to deliver to Timișoara. Even I do not have anything, I will. Okay, so for Timișoara, I know I'm taking the smallest gateway that you can see at our booth. So I'm putting the small gateway that I have on the booth, which is called Steel Connect API gateway, to Timișoara. But because I do not have it, I do not have the serial number of the box, I'm still waiting for that. And we are talking about the shadow of the client. So it will be everything pre-configured and prepared over here, but just without any serial number, so it will be not yet operable. Okay, so it's already prepared over here. So now I have in Timișoara already prepared. It's not online, of course. And basically, the only thing what needs to be done, if this will be shipped, the only thing will be the register the hardware. And of course, we have a gadget on the iPhone, so we have the Steel Connect applications. You are just scanning the serial number as it arrives to Timișoara, and it will be up and running. But what is, as I said, you have multiple WAN networks, and you want to decide which application is going to which network. So what we have behind, so I'm getting back again to the visibility. So using the same defect inspection engine as we were showing in the monitoring solution, I can recognize applications like BitTorrent, or whatever. WebEx is very important for us for the communication. And then I'm creating the rules that I'm saying, for example, for the Office application, send everything over internet. Then I have some application from HP, and I need to put it over MPLS with particular quality of service. Then I have Skype. I'm sending Skype over MPLS because we are using it for our business, and telephonic also, of course. But I'm sending the file share. I'm sending in the first row on the internet, and second row over the MPLS. And what is also important, we are permanently monitoring the quality of those tunnels. So you see Timisoara is already prepared. And in the moment when I will deliver the box, you see the gateway is already prepared. And as in the moment that I will register, it will go green and it will build the tunnel to the VPN. Yeah? So if you want to see more, please visit our booth because I think, yeah, I will be thrown out. Any questions to SD1?
So can you monitor so you put two internet lines?
Yeah.
Can you monitor like which one is more reliable in the one?
That's what I wanted to show before I will be thrown out. So that's exactly the point. If I'm going to the rules, I can create a traffic rule, pass quality profile. So this is exactly what you were saying. So in the case that the latency on MPLS is worse than on internet, switch to internet. And I have international customers where really the VPN over our solution over internet has, I don't know, 300-400 millisecond latency, and MPLS at 600 millisecond latency. So there are, okay, so strange regions, whatever, but this is exactly for that. So I have the rules, pass quality, and I have QoS priority. So I have my queues inside of the device, or if I have with my ISP provider, I'm marking the traffic to the ISP provider. Okay, I could talk long about it. Just come to our booth and visit. So thank you very much.
Thank you.